We reach Nijo Castle. Let me share something special about it. Unlike grand military castles like Osaka or Himeji, Nijo Castle was built for administrative, not military, purposes. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who unified Japan, had Nijo Castle completed as his government headquarters in Kyoto. At that same time, in Europe, the Mayflower hadn't yet reached America. That would happen 17 years later.
二条城の歴史と役割。
Nijo Castle was used as the Kyoto residence of the Tokugawa shogunate when they visited from Edo, present-day Tokyo. Shogun Ieyasu wanted to show off his authority, so he built this luxurious palace-style castle in the heart of Kyoto. During the Edo period, 1603 to 1867, the emperor had no real political power. He was more of a symbolic figure. The actual ruler was the Tokugawa shogun, who governed the country from Edo. Nijo Castle is very symbolic, because it saw both the beginning and the end of the Tokugawa shogunate. It was built in 1603 when the shogunate began, and it was here in 1867 that the last shogun, Tokugawa Yoshinobu, returned political power to the emperor, marking the end of samurai rule.
東大手門。
Now we are standing at the Higashi Otoman, the main gate of Nijo Castle. You might notice a pair of upside-down fish-like creatures on the rooftop. These are called shachuhako, and they are mythical creatures that protect buildings from fire. Speaking of samurai, did you know why many had their hair in a top knot? Back then, samurai wore helmets during battle. Their heads would get very hot and sweaty, making them uncomfortable and dizzy. So they tied up their hair to cool off, and it became a popular hairstyle, not just for warriors, but for most men of that time.
家紋について。
They notice family crests, called kamen, on the backs of the kimonos in paintings and on the castle walls. These are symbols used to identify families, similar to coats of arms in Europe. Most crests are based on plants, animals, or nature, reflecting Japan's respect for nature. The Tokugawa family crest is a hollyhock, while the imperial family crest is a chrysanthemum. You'll see both inside the castle because, for a time, Nijo Castle belonged to the imperial household agency.
東門。
Now we are standing in front of the Karaman, a Chinese-style gate that was used to welcome very important guests. At the top, you can see the chrysanthemum crest. The symbol of the imperial family. Look at the beautiful carvings. They include cranes, butterflies, and flowers. Gold leaf is used generously to make the gate look even more impressive. There's also a dragon and tiger carved above the doors. These animals were chosen because Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu was born in the year of the tiger, and his grandson, Tokugawa Iemitsu, was born in the year of the dragon. According to the Chinese zodiac, this gate shows the power and authority of the Tokugawa family.
二条城の中へ王将。
Even though Nijo Castle looks like a fortress from the outside, the inside is more like a palace. Before we go in, here are 3 things to look out for. 1. The sound of the floor. 2. The beautiful paintings and carvings. 3. The way each room's design matches its purpose. Let's go inside. Please take off your shoes and place them in the shoebox. Now, listen carefully as you walk. Can you hear the squeaking sound? This is called the nightingale floor. It was designed to chirp like a bird when people walk on it. It's not just a cute feature, it was a security system to detect intruders.
縁侍の間。
Waiting rooms for outside lords. These 2 rooms are called the Tizamure no Ma, or waiting rooms for outside feudal lords. Those who became Tokugawa's allies after the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. Look at the sliding doors and walls. They're decorated with paintings of tigers and leopards. These animals symbolized strength and authority, even though there were no tigers or leopards in Japan. Painters imagined them based on imported fur. That's why they look a little different from the real ones.
式台の間。
Reception room. This is the reception room where senior officials of the Tokugawa government greeted visiting feudal lords. They also received gifts here on behalf of the shogun. The walls and doors are covered with pine tree paintings. In Japan, pine trees are a symbol of long life and stability. These large trees are perfectly fitted into the space, showing the balance and strength of the Tokugawa government. These paintings were created by Kano Tanayu, one of the most famous artists of the Edo period. He painted this masterpiece when he was just 25 years old.
大広間1の間、2の間。
First and second grand, these are the most important rooms in Nijo Castle. In 1867, the last Tokugawa shogun, Yoshinobu, gathered feudal lords here to announce the return of power to the emperor, the end of the Tokugawa shogunate. Look at the decoration. These rooms are the most luxurious, filled with gold leaf, beautiful pine tree paintings, and recessed ceilings to show the shogun's power. You can see, the shogun sitting in the center, his page boy holding his sword, his cabinet ministers sitting nearby, the feudal lords bowing deeply in front of him, their hold in folding fans, not because it was hot, but because in Japan, a folding fan represents respect, formality, and good manners, just like gloves are worn in Europe at formal events. Behind the decorative sliding doors with tassels, there was a hidden room for bodyguards. If anything happened, they were ready to jump out and protect the shogun. It's a bit like a secret service team. Now, shall we move on to the Kurosai-Lauren, the shogun's private meeting room?
黒書院の間。
This is the Kuroshoin, or inner audience chamber. Here, the shogun had private meetings with close allies, especially Tokugawa relatives and hereditary lords, those who supported the Tokugawa family even before 1600. The 15th shogun, Yoshinobu, is said to have discussed whether or not to return power to the emperor right here in this room. It's also called the cherry blossom room, because of the beautiful cherry blossom paintings on the sliding doors. You'll also notice a unique detail in the right-hand corner. There are two sets of staggered shelves, which were often used for displaying important scrolls or art.
白書院の間。
This is the Shiroshoin, the shogun's personal living space. When the shogun wasn't on duty, he came here to relax. Only female attendants were allowed in this area. The women here were his concubines, who served and looked after him.
大広間4の間。
Fourth grand room. This is the fourth grand room, used to store the shogun's weapons, such as spears and swords. Look at the sliding door paintings. You'll see pine trees and hawks. Both are symbols of strength and sharp vision, fitting for a military leader.
老中の間。
Ministers' offices. Now we are at the Rajunoma, the offices of the senior ministers who supported the shogun in political matters. Notice that the walls and ceilings are very simple. Why? Because this was not a public space. The ministers didn't need to impress anyone here. They were focused on governing, not displaying power.
勅使の間。
Imperial Messenger's Room. This room is called the Chakushinoma, or the Imperial Messenger's Room. When imperial messengers came from the emperor, they were received here. To show respect, the shogun sat on the lower level, and the messenger sat on a slightly higher level. This tradition emphasized the emperor's superior status, even though he had little actual power during the Edo period.
ツアー後。
I hope you enjoyed exploring Nijo Castle's palace. Can you guess how many rooms we just walked through? There are actually 34 rooms in total, and more than 800 tatami mats cover the floors. The palace also has about 450 meters of corridors, with a total area of about 3,300 square meters. The entire layout follows a pattern called flying geese formation. If you could see it from the sky, it would look like a flock of geese flying diagonally. Now we've seen many parts of Nijo Castle, from the outer gate to the Karaman, the Ninamaru Palace, and the gardens. You may have noticed that Nijo Castle is different from other castles like Osaka Castle or Himeji Castle. Those castles were built mainly for military defense. But Nijo Castle was built to display political power and wealth. It was a residence, an office, and a symbol of control for the Tokugawa shoguns, and most importantly, this castle witnessed the beginning and the end of the Tokugawa shogunate. from the time it was founded in 1603 to the time power was returned to the emperor in 1867. This makes Nijo Castle a very important historical site in understanding Japan's transition from samurai rule to modern government.